Colorant Southern Charms. Let me tell you, this week has been a week of Mondays. I cannot stress that enough. This is the third take. I'm trying to get this video done for you guys. So let me recap real quick. I tried to do live, and you'll see where I pour my resin, measure it up using my scale, but my scale is set to fluid ounces, which is the exact same thing as using, I can't even think, y'all, I'm frazzled right now. It's the same as using volume, okay? Fluid ounce on a scale is the same as the volume. So, mixed up our resin, we're gonna do both white as our base because we're gonna do marbling today. I let you guys choose in group. And if you haven't joined our new Facebook group, make sure you go over there and do that, because they have a lot of say and input onto what kind of videos that we do, or if they're having things they're struggling with and need some more information, you know, it's right there. You can get it in a quick hurry there. We also have a chat room open in Messenger, and we all talk to each other there too. So we have our white base mixed there. Let me mix this one because I'm doing two different colors to show y'all how to marble with two different colorants. Of course, my base, I always use a pigment paste. And I've told y'all, my white pigment paste, my go-to is Eye Candy. I love their white pigment paste, and it's called Satori White. Highly recommend this company for quite a few reasons. One, it's veteran owned. I am a very big supporter of veterans. My guy is retired from the Air Force. He did 21 plus years. I have a lot of respect. I come from a long line of military service in my family on both sides. So I have a lot of respect for the military. And believe it or not, Eye Candy is veteran owned and made and shipped here in the United States. So we don't have to worry about that. They have great deals, and they have an app. They have a website. I will link all of that in the description of this video. And I also have a code that they gave me to pass on to you guys where you can save 15%. So that's very nice. So we're doing that. I love Eye Candy, and I love, in fact, the other pigment paste that we're using is this Vivian. It's a lilac or a pastel purple, whatever you want to call it. It's beautiful, and Goose Paste is who actually made it, but it comes from Eye Candy. It's one that they carry, and I'll link all that info in the description, so y'all can just click the link and go right there and grab your own. And I haven't checked lately, but I know that purple is, or was, out of stock because, boy, when that went up, people snagged it. Very popular color. But they have many other colors. They have these blues, and they have grays, and they have greens, and they have Tiffany blue. What girl doesn't love her Tiffany color, right? Guys, if you want to get on a girl's good side, put something in a Tiffany box and give it to her and see what happens. Yes, we love our Tiffany blue. Okay. Now, I told y'all in the other video that you didn't see, I want to teach you how to do marbling two different ways with two different colorants. I'm using transparent ink for one, black, and then I'm gonna use the pigment paste, the lavender, for the other. And I have resin set aside to make that color as well. So let me mix these colors up. And you can use black pigment paste. I really don't suggest mica powder when you're doing marbling, and I'll tell you why. Mica powder moves in your resin. Naturally, it's gonna migrate to the center of your piece. So if we're doing these guys, mica's gonna migrate and leave lines or striations in your piece. That's gonna take away from your marbling. So I really don't recommend using mica. You can do it, but for a better result, I suggest using an ink, an opaque ink, a transparent ink, and I don't suggest alcohol ink because alcohol floats to the top. And I'll add my little chart for you guys that will help you remember the different effects that these colorants give you. Now this transparent I'm using, it is the same thing as using a tint. And I don't know if y'all seen these little tints that come in a little pumper bottle and you can just pump out a few squirts in your resin, but they never get opaque. They always stay transparent. So tints and transparent inks are the same thing, essentially. Alright, so there's that. Now, I'm gonna add some more black to this, but here's our purple. Isn't that gorgeous, y'all? And remember I told you, anytime you use your pigment paste, make sure you mix and stir them up. Because sometimes the additives or the things that they use to make their paste can get separated. And we don't want that. Another tip, see how I left part of the foil on this? It's so I can do this without wiping it on the edge of this jar. So then when I put my lid on, guess what happens? You see all that on the inside? When you put your lid on and you have paste like that around the lid, sometimes it gets stuck and it's not easy to get it off. So let's stir in our purple. Because really and honestly, preparing for marbling, mixing all your colors and doing all that takes far longer than doing the actual marble. It's kind of crazy. Alright, so y'all, isn't that a gorgeous purple? Wow. I love this color. If you're a purple fan, this definitely is one that would be in your repertoire. What is a repertoire? Here's some of my southern friends. What does that mean? It means your toolkit. Your go-to color. Alright, I'm going to set this to the side. I'm going to add a little bit more black to this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I added 10 more. I think I added 3 the first go around. I really want to make this a richer color. Whoop. Boy, snow's really starting to come down now. Yes, we're getting snow on Good Friday. Can you believe that? Actually, the springtime is when we get the most snow here in Colorado. A lot of people don't realize that. 3 days before my son graduated, we had a blizzard. And that was the end of May. Shocking, but it happens. Okay, so that's a much better color. More rich. I love that. So now, let me show you the secret to marble. Let's start with black and white first because that's kind of a classic marble tone, right? And you can do this reverse. Use a black base with a little bit of white, and you can do it that way. So what I want to do, actually, I think I'm going to get an extra cup for each of these combos so I can show you the 2 different ways. Alright, so let's pour a little bit of white into this cup. I'm going to leave that there. And then I want to show you the classic way. This is the classic way to do it. Stir up your color, which is black for us, and then I'm going to drizzle some of that black. Not a lot, just a couple little spoonsful, right? And then I'm going to take my stirring stick and I'm going to go down like I'm folding cake. And that's it. And I'm leaving it. Do you see how it's marbled? Then I'm simply just going to pour this in as a base. And you see the marbled effects. And since I use transparent ink, it's not a in-your-face kind of marble that you may want. And that is dependent on what kind of marble effect you want for your piece, right? So, you can go back in, drizzle some of this on your piece, like so. Okay? Then, we're gonna take our, and we're just going to swirl it around. And that's it. So that's another way to add more color to your piece. And I'll show you on this one, I'm gonna let that sit for now. On this one, let's pour some of our white base. We're just gonna split that off. And we're gonna do a different technique. We're going to drizzle some purple into our piece, like so. Then we're gonna drizzle, are you seeing that? Yes. Some, and we're going to use our stick, and we're gonna go down and up. I'm not stirring it, okay? And now I'm gonna pour this over the purple that's in there and let it mix and do its thing, right? So there is a purple and white marble, like so. Okay. Now, if you want to add, some more purple, like so. You can. And then stir it around. There you go. So, it really is that simple, y'all. That's all it takes to make a marble effect, okay? So, I want to show you, let's do it this way. Here is another way that you can do this. It is simply doing what we call a dirty pour. So we take some, and I'll put it where we poured it out. Take some white, pour that in. That's our base. Take some of the black, pour it down. Take some more white. And then we're gonna finish the black. And then I'm not stirring any of this. Can you see that? Here, let me move this one out of the way. I'm gonna set this one over here and set this one so you can see. And we're just going to pour it in. Like so. And the further away you pour it, the more effects you're gonna get. in your result. So the higher I am, you see a smaller stream. Or if I come down here, it's a bigger stream. I personally like it higher. I think it gives much better effects higher. So I'm going to do like I did with the other. Just wipe it down. And that's it. We're gonna let that one cure. So now we have 3, right? And I'm gonna pour the rest of this over here on my other one that wasn't quite full, the black and white. There we go. And I have some white left over, which is fine, because I'll put it in something else and we'll make another project with it. No big deal. But that's the gist of marbling, y'all. You saw it's not really that hard. Some people that show videos make it seem so much harder than it really is. It doesn't have to be as hard as people make it out to be. It really is super simple. And for me, I always follow the KISS, K-I-S-S, for me, keep it simple, stupid. That's what I do. The easiest way with the most success, that's the route that I want to take, and that's the route that I want to take y'all down. Now, I don't use fire or flames or heat or any of that when I'm using a silicone mold with my resin, because the mold quality since last year has really changed a lot, because a lot of people are getting into resin as a craft, which is fun. I love that because it is very therapeutic and it has a lot of healing properties in it. And y'all know I've talked about that before. So art is very therapeutic. And the more people that are doing it, the more people are getting healed, which I love. And I know you love too. So that is the basics, y'all. That's how easy it is. Ta-da, we're done. Now we're gonna let these sit and cure, and I'll come back and I'll take them out of the molds and I'll show you the results from all the different techniques that I just showed you. Pick whichever one you love the best, whichever one you find the most success with. There's no preference. It's just depending on what makes you feel more comfortable. Pick that one. So I'm gonna let these sit. I'm gonna find something else to pour these into that I have left over. We'll have a new creation for that when we unmold these in a little while. For y'all, it's only gonna be a few minutes, but for me, it's gonna be a little while. So until then, y'all, happy arting. See you in a few. Hey y'all, we are back because our people are done. We're gonna take these out of the mold and have a look at what the different marbling effects created. So let's start with our first one. And this was just the white and the transparent ink black that we added to our set aside resin. And let's see what we have here. And this one is traditional. This is how you would pour if you're looking for just the traditional black and white marble effect. And I didn't spray any of my soap mixture. There we go. It came out pretty easy. Set that to the side to be clean. Are you ready to see? There is our marble effect thinker. See that? Oh, I had a little, or I didn't clean my mold good, but that's traditional marble. Pretty simple, right? A lot of people love this. It's an elegant effect. So we have our regular marble, and I'll show you. I just spray a little of my, and this is Dawn soap and water in a spritz bottle. And I just spray it around. I break the seal between the mold in my piece, like so, and I just spray some of the soap mixture in here to get my mold to release. Super easy. And y'all heard me many times say, spray this mixture, squeeze at the bottom, and it will pop out like a pimple. So I just work this around, and you can see the little bubble. That means it's separated from the silicone. So it should come out very easily, like so. No effort at all. Very easy to get it separated. You see, oh, look at that. Some of my pink did transfer from where I did my reverse alcohol. Let's give this a wipe real quick to get some of the soapy water off. That soapy water will not affect your result or your resin. But there's the difference. Remember with this one, we added, that's when we drizzled some of the black in before we poured, right? So this is that effect. It is far more in your face, the black is, than just a traditional marble where we mixed it in the cup and just poured from the cup. We didn't add anything to the mold, we just poured from the cup with this one. This one we added a little more detail in the mold and then poured to get this type of marbling. So it really depends on the effect that you want as to what you'll get. I'm very surprised that leaked. That just means I didn't clean my mold very well from the reverse alcohol. But let's do our purple and white marble. Oh. Let me spray some of our soap mixture down here and down there, around our head, which the head is usually not a problem. Spray there, spray on that side. Just gonna work it around, and really I can squeeze from the bottom of my mold and look, it is out. Ta-da, there we go. Oh yeah, I really like this purple. Look at the purple and white. Isn't that gorgeous? We'll turn it around, you can still see the soap suds. But you see the back, and you see the sides. But that's purple and white, y'all. And I didn't go down and stir. You can use a silicone tip tool and go down and do your little swirls or whatever you want to do. I didn't do that. I just let it do its own thing and see how it would work out. So there we have our three. Now, we had some extra resin. So I poured a wine caddy, and I'll take it out. I was gonna leave it in and pour a top coat, but I'm just gonna take it out so you can see. We'll see what the front looks like. And what is a wine caddy? Many people don't understand how they work. Well, very simply, you stick this over top of a wine bottle, champagne, whatever you want to set it on. And you can see it's flexible. It's not completely cured. But we'll lay it flat, it'll completely cure. But this is how you use it. Put your bottle, put this on top of your bottle, and you take 2 glasses. The stems of your glasses go in here and rest and hang. And you put another glass on the other side. So then you have like a wine caddy. That's why it's called that, because you have your wine bottle, 2 glasses. It can all sit real pretty. Okay, so this one, I used the black and the purple that we had left to create that. And you can see in my mold, I did my zigzag effect like I did with these molds. So this is the result of that. And you can see this is pretty, and there's the back. You can choose whichever side you want to display. Flip it. This needs a clear coat because it is raised, it's not completely full, which I could pour a clear coat on this, no big deal. But it's not cured. See that bend? And I'll tell you why. People, it really makes no logical sense. But pieces that are bigger, we'll just go compare these two. Pieces in here compared to in here, you have more workers in here doing the work to create the friction, because resin cures by molecular friction, so you have more molecules doing the work, right? So you have a big plant here doing all the work. They can get it done much quicker because they have more manpower, right? As compared to a smaller piece. Look here, it's pretty narrow, right? Very small. So you have fewer workers in this factory doing the work. They'll get the work done, it's just gonna take them longer to get there because they don't have the extra manpower that this bigger one has. That is the best way I have found to explain why it takes bookmarks or earrings or smaller poured resin projects to cure faster. Simply because they lack the extra workers. That's all it is. So there we go, y'all. That is 3 different ways for you to pour a marble effect in your resin project. And there's actually one more that I didn't do, but we can talk about. Y'all have seen the little split cups, right? Where you can pour a certain color in one, the next little area you pour your different colors, all that, and then you pour them all out together from the cup, and they stream and they cause these beautiful effects, like you would do an acrylic pour with the puddle pour. Anyway, those are multiple ways you can create marbling and experiment yourself. Do some fun little projects that are just for you and try these different techniques and come up with the best one that you feel most comfortable with, or that gives you the effect that your vision sees. So guys, that's gonna be all for this video. Make sure you go over to Facebook, join the new Facebook group, because I am not in the tutorial group. Sadly, a lot of people thought that was my personal group, and it wasn't. I was just helping out and a moderator for that group, but I had no say over what was allowed, so I could ensure that beginners are protected the way I feel they should be protected. So I created my new group, and you can find it on Facebook. It's CATS Resin Beginners, or Resin Group for Beginners, Artist Helping Artist. If you put in CATS Resin Group and you look for the logo or the cover, you'll find it. So I hope you guys join us there. Make sure here you give this a thumbs up. You comment below, which is your favorite technique? Which one do you like best? The traditional, or do you like putting the colors on the mold and then pouring? You tell me, what is your favorite one? But make sure you do the YouTubey things. Like, subscribe, give us a thumbs up. Until next time, y'all. Happy arting. Ta-ta for now.